Dietrich Williams at DW Cali Homes with this week's version of Info on the Go. I get a lot of questions about how to create the best offers when purchasing a home. So I'm going to go through a few simple solutions that I think you may find worthwhile. So number one is make sure you get pre-approved. It really shows the strength of you as a buyer when you come in with a pre-approval stating that you have made the intention to apply for a loan, and shows just how much of the loan that you're able to get. So it lets the seller know that you're a viable candidate. Number two is you may need to put down a little bit more extra money in terms of your EMD or your earnest money deposit, just to show how strong you are as a candidate. So typically here in SoCal, we usually ask for about 2% of the purchase price. I've seen that go much higher, sometimes 10%, 20%, sometimes even over that, just so that candidates can show to the seller just how serious they are in terms of purchasing their property. Number three is make sure that you're flexible on your closing time. So sometimes you'll see offers that come in, or we'll see offers that come in that'll be 30 days, 35 days, 45 days. But the seller may need 60 because they may need to move out a ton of stuff because they've been in the house for 30 years, or even vice versa. You may ask for 45 days or 60 days and the seller wants 30. So be a little bit flexible. You can always extend or change that time up in an addendum. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but for most sellers, they try to shorten up the contingency or that closing time. So just be flexible on that. And as I'm talking about contingencies, some of those contingencies, you may want to shorten those time frames. If in the contract your loan contingency says 21 days, you may want to shorten it up to 15 days if that's possible. So make sure that you're talking to your agent and your lender about the do's and don'ts and the pros and cons of changing those contingency timelines. And finally, make sure you're putting together a great offer. So in this period of time, we are in a state of high demand, low supply. That means prices are going a little bit higher because people are overbidding on properties. And if you come in and you lowball a seller, your offer may go to the bottom of the pile. And if you really want the home, that's not good news for you. So I always recommend that my clients at least come in at ask or over ask. I'll do a little due diligence myself to see what offers are on the table right now and if they're all over ask. So it gives them a little bit more ammo when we're crafting that offer together. And this, as a side note, try to include a personal letter to the seller to try to tug at their heartstrings. Now, this isn't a hard and fast rule because it doesn't work for every seller. If you're dealing with an investor, I tend to tell my clients don't even waste your time because they're really concerned about their bottom line. But if it's somebody that's lived in the home, who has memories there, touch on their heartstrings. Talk about the memories you want to create with your family or your relatives in the home that you plan to purchase from them. So just a couple of ideas for you to put together your very best offers, because we really want to see you guys purchase those homes, especially if you're a first-time buyer. If you have more questions, feel free to email me, Dietrich at dwcalihomes.com. That's DIETRIC at dwcalihomes.com. See you next week.